Hello and welcome back to HCCTV Student Lounge. This is a show done by HCC students for HCC students to give our opinions in news, entertainment, and what's going on in our school. My name is Caragon. How are you, Carolina?
Hi, Kyle. It's good to see you. We're also joined today by Benjamin, Andres, Josh, Eric, and Kennard, and we will also be joined by our guest, Christy Workman, who is here to talk about Goth Yoga, a very different way of practicing yoga. But first, let's move on into our top 3 news of the week. NASA astronauts splash down in SpaceX capsule as historic mission returns to Earth. Did you see that happening yesterday, Kyle?
Yeah, I did. This is so exciting. I'm glad everything worked well.
I saw the whole coverage, and NASA astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken splashed down in the Gulf of Mexico in a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft yesterday. So this is ending the historic 2-month trip to space. The mission marked the first time that astronauts have launched from American soil since the final space shuttle flight in 2011. Now, Houston Food Bank welcomes volunteers at warehouse facility in city's north side. The Houston Food Bank has rented an additional warehouse facility in the city's north side. So have you ever done some volunteering for the food bank, Kyle?
No, I unfortunately didn't have the chance to do it, but I did see they did an amazing job when it comes to Harvey. I did donate some money though to help them, to achieve to get them, more food to help people out. I didn't get a chance to go there, but I think it's a great thing they're doing for people, especially during this, coronavirus time. There's a lot of people without jobs, a lot of people are starving. So I'm glad there's people out there trying to help them.
Oh, it's so good to hear that, Kaya. Well, my boyfriend, he did volunteer one time from the company where he works at. So they did like a whole day of volunteering, and that was amazing. Now, the new warehouse, which Houston Food Bank is referring to as North Branch, is expected to help alleviate the stress and demand on the main warehouse. Those interested can sign up here. We're going to put the link down here. And Google is officially announcing 3 Pixel phones today. Have you seen any of these, Kyle?
I actually have seen one of them. My friend had one and he loved the photos were really good. He mentioned to me, it's better than iPhone, but I think that they usually do something better than iPhone, and then iPhone comes with a new one and everybody, okay, yeah, iPhone is better. So
That's true. Actually, we sent to my dad one of the Pixel. I don't remember which was it, and I was surprised. You think it's just because it's not an iPhone, it's not as good. And when he takes pictures and he sends it to us, they're really good quality. And now this new Pixel phone is expected to be $349, the 4A, which is very cheap.
Yeah, it's really
Now,
good.
yes. Now it will be available for pre-order now and will ship on August 20th. The next is the Pixel 5, which will have 5G and is shipping sometime this fall. Now, the last one is the Pixel 4a 5G, which will cost $499, and it will also ship sometime this fall. So that's amazing. Now, let's move into our debate. Today, we will have debate between yoga versus kickboxing. Now, Kayo, have you practiced this? Which one do you prefer?
I've tried yoga one time. Actually, I did a class, I think 3 or 4 times. It was pretty interesting for me. Because first I was scared of doing because I thought that in order to do that you need to be really flexible. So I was like, man, I'm not flexible at all. I cannot even touch my feet, my hands when I'm doing this. So it's this is gonna hurt. But I really enjoyed. The only problem was that most people in the class was old ladies. So we end up have a lot of limitation when it comes to that. We couldn't do a lot of positions, because unfortunately, they were limited, So I think I lost a little bit of motivation because I wanted to go more to the exercise part of it, and I couldn't really exercise because everything was too slow. So I guess I just needed to do something with someone that is my age. I think it would have worked better, But what about you, Benjamin? Have you done anything like that?
So I haven't done kickboxing myself or yoga, but if I had to choose one, I think I would go more towards the kickboxing. It just looks like a lot of fun. And I looked it up. I was looking on the internet and I saw some benefits about it. It actually helps you reduce stress. I mean, if you think about somebody you're angry about, you could just think that they're that punching bag and you kick away. You know what I mean? You also have improved coordination, and this is one of the ones that I was like, okay, if I get to do this, I'm gonna do it. Burn mega calories. So in less time, you burn more calories. I mean, who wouldn't like that? And if you're having fun with it, more points to you. You know.
I think yoga can be better in the aspect of, after an exercise, you can just go and kind of do that to stretch and relax your muscles. I think if I'm going to do an exercise or cardio, I think I would prefer just go, maybe biking or even go to the gym. I have nothing against kickboxing, but I just think that going to the gym and then the yoga would be more beneficial for my body.
Well, I've heard that yoga has like a religious part of it, and that's why it helps us like get to know ourselves and relax and relieve that anxiety that we have. So nowadays it's very beneficial since we're staying at home, so you can even just do it over the floor. I remember you have the video of how to meditate, and it's just laying on the floor, and you can do yoga watching several videos on YouTube. So I go with yoga too. What do you think, Josh?
I'm personally more on the side of kickboxing. I don't have experience in either, but after a bit of research, I found, in addition to what Benjamin had mentioned, kickboxing can boost your confidence levels, just being physically active. It improves your coordination. You need to know exactly where you're hitting and when to defend. And also, it's good just as a good of like, it helps improve your posture because you need to be in a standing upright pose. And if your posture is bad, you're gonna not do well.
Well, me personally, I agree with what Josh said, with all of you said beforehand. I agree that yoga and kickboxing, I feel they both work on some of the same things. Like both of them work on your flexibility and your balance. But the only difference to me is kickboxing is more upbeat and up tempo, while yoga is like more relaxing and calming of the body, mind, and the soul. But also on another point that I found out, kickboxing, well, I did kickboxing before, so I know kickboxing, it actually works on your coordination, and yoga does not do that. And it also works on self-defense. It teaches you self-defense as well, so you can learn like how to defend yourself if you ever need it in the public area, and you can get an actually good workout and by working on your whole body.
Now that we have our expert of the day, she's going to tell us how accurate we are in this topic. So who do you have for today, Kayo?
Today I have Christy. She actually teaches a really interesting type of yoga. It's Goth Yoga. So I want to ask her about that. But before that, let's ask her what's her opinion regards yoga versus kickboxing. Hi, Christy. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great too. So tell me a little bit about like what's your opinion when it comes to kickboxing and yoga? Like which one you prefer? Which one you think is more beneficial for your body?
So, not to bump any of you out, but they both have great benefits. I personally started out as a fitness instructor teaching kickboxing. It is one of my loves. You can see I have my kickboxing bag over there. And there are a couple little things that I heard you guys say, and I want to bust those myths for you. Yoga, the original form of Hatha yoga is what I teach, is it's a mind-body experience. You can get strength, you can get flexibility, you can get serene, but you can also get your butt whooped. There's flow, there's hot yoga, there's so many different types of yoga. So it really depends on what you're doing. Kickboxing, it is one of my loves. So I'm the yin and the yang. So I have a fitness company called High Low Kick, hence the kick, and then Goth Yoga. So I really appreciate hearing both of your sides. Yoga is to become flexible and work on your balance. There's a lot of standing poses where you stand on one leg, inversions. So there's a lot of things that you can benefit from doing yoga to help increase your stamina to do kickboxing. And I heard a lot of great things about the kickboxing. Yes, it definitely, you work your coordination. Yes, it's definitely upbeat. And I love punching that bag and getting my aggression out, getting the endorphins going. And so there's benefits of both. So it's all in a personal way. You know, some people, they don't want to hit something. I used to come home from taking Krav Maga and say, ask my husband, I'd say, let me show you this new move I made today. Come at me like you're going to choke me. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. So, you know, it's really a personal preference. Some people want to get that aggro, get that aggression out, punch something. The high calorie burn in kickboxing is off the chart great. But you can also burn a lot of calories doing yoga. Now, what I teach is I teach Hatha, which is just the basic original form of yoga that's been around for a long, long time. So in response to your question, I think there's something to be had for both, and it really is a personal preference, but they do complement each other as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that you explain like how both worked, and I think now I have a better understanding. So now let's talk about your type of yoga. It's like Goth Yoga. So what is this idea came from, and tell me a little bit about what's Goth Yoga.
So to begin with, I used to be in a punk rock band. It's called Stinkerbell in the 90s. And my husband and I owned Sugar Hill Recording Studios from 1996 to 2017. And when I decided not to do the studio anymore, I went back to corporate, and that didn't work out. And I had been working out for years after I stopped being in a band. And my love was kickboxing. And so during the time that I decided I was going to change my career and go back to corporate, I had decided also that I wanted to study group fitness instructing on the side. Well, it came a little bit sooner than it did later. And when I turned 50, I decided that I would become a fitness instructor. And so I played gothy music and punk rock music and high energy or spooky, you know, it's like this, my yin and my yang. And one of my clients in 2014 called my yoga Goth Yoga. She posted something on Facebook, and the next thing you know, people were like, I want to do Goth Yoga. I want to do Goth Yoga. And they've seen the pictures that we had posted on social media and my environment, and we're like, whoa. So, you know, I started teaching that to my personal students here at the studio. And one of my clients opened up her own market called Thorn and Moon Magical Market, which is down in Montrose and Avant Garden, and asked me if I would teach a Goth Yoga class. And that was in 2018, January. And it took off. And so I branded t-shirts and clothes, and I would go to markets and do yoga and teach classes, and then started selling things on the side. And it's, you know, spooky, fun, gentle yoga.
Yeah, that's actually the first time I heard of it, and it's a really unique type of yoga. And I'm happy to hear, you know, like how things are working for you. So let's talk about, you know, during this quarantine. I know you mentioned to me that usually you do a class for like 1 to 3 people. So now that most places are closed due to social distancing, what are the things you're doing to, you know, to stay alive during this pandemic?
Well, it's a good question. For me, it's been a little tough because I had developed this Goth Yoga following and began going and doing horror conventions and expos. I was supposed to be traveling all this year, and that's not happening. So all of my gigs canceled, and I didn't really feel like I had anything to offer anybody initially when all the quarantines were happening. And so I sat back and I have been restructuring my business, downsizing my home, getting rid of things that no longer serve me, and including expenses, and rethinking about what am I going to do. And I've been working with a marketing company, and she gave me some good advice, and I decided that I would start doing virtual training. So I did one Facebook Live event, and I've been practicing filming myself so that I can start teaching Zoom classes. I have a Zoom class with the client when we're finished with this. And so I've been working on going more to a virtual platform, focusing on creating a YouTube page that I can share and put multiple things on. Because not only do I teach Goth Yoga, I teach kickboxing, kettlebells and barbells and Pilates, and I have all these wonderful things to share with people. But because I can't do it face to face anymore, I have to change with the times. And this is what I see that the times are changing too. We don't know when this is going to end, or if it ever will. I don't know if we'll ever go back to the same things that we used to do. So for me, going the virtual platform is going to be my game plan.
I think that's a good idea. And in that aspect of, being able to change to virtual, I think, we have most of the technology we needed today. And I don't think no one was expecting, to need to make this change. Even us, we were going to be doing the show in the studio, now we're doing it from home. But at the same time, we cannot just sit back and wait until things are going to change, because you can see that it's been, 6-7 months already, and it's taken longer than one expects. So we do need to provide and think about changes, and and eventually we're gonna adapt to it and get used to it. But I think that should be it for it. I really appreciate you being here today. I think everybody learned a lot from it, and and again, thank you. And I hope to bring you again, and I want you to bring a student who knows and share the experience, because again, I never heard of Goth Yoga before, and that sounds really interesting.
Never heard of it before, but Christy, do you have any social media you want to share with us? We want you to grow your audience as we grow ours. So you want to share your YouTube channel? How can we find you?
Okay, so right now my YouTube channel is under Christy Workman and Goth Yoga. Probably within the next week or so, I'll be changing that to Fantastic Fitness. I have a website for High Low Kick, which will be changing to Fantastic Fitness as well. And then I have an online boutique for Goth Yoga, and that's www.gothyoga.com. On social media, you can find me at Goth Yoga Houston, both on Facebook and Instagram. And I have lots of other things, but I don't have them all stressed out. I have Pinterest and all of those things, and Twitter. Twitter is, I think it's Christy Chaos. I used to be in roller derby.
I'm sure that's enough. If not, we will be glad to have you once again in the show whenever you want, whenever you have more social media or something else to show to us. I'm sure I have lots of friends who want to know about this new yoga. This is something, it's crazy, but I want to try it. I want to know how different it is from the regular yoga, the kind of relaxing music you have, how it's going to be with yours. So thank you so much for being in our show. But now we're going to move into our last section, is entertainment. Now, Kayo, what shows are out that you want to show us about?
So today I would like to recommend is a Netflix original series. It's called Explain. So they have different topics, and this one specifically is The Mind Explained. So they talk a little bit about like how the sleep helps you to have a better, healthy life. But the one that I want to recommend It's actually, I think, episode 4, which is about meditation. And it's a great show. It talks about the benefits of doing meditation and shows a little bit of a yoga too, because meditation and yoga, they have a lot to do in common. Yoga, it's sort of, as you saw the show, it has to do with exercising, but it also your mental health, because you need to, breathe and think about some healthy things. So it's a really good show and definitely recommend.
Today I want to recommend for all the people that really like the kickboxing, I want to recommend a movie from Jean-Claude Van Damme, the movie called Kickboxer. It's a really, really very good movie. In that movie, you can see how the kickboxing is important in Thailand, like where all the children go to the different academy to learn how to do the kickboxing. It's a very good movie that right now you can find in Roku channel.
Yeah. So today I'm not gonna recommend a show or a movie. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend a YouTube channel. I found this YouTube channel called Yoga by Candice. So it's Candice, the girl who runs the YouTube channel. She does a bunch of yoga stances and stuff, and also she's an author for a book called Namaste. So she has a bunch of stuff on there. If you want to go look at her videos, range from 15 minutes to 60 minutes. So covers a bunch of things in yoga. So if you want to go look that up, Yoga by Candice.
Thank you. I'll definitely check that out. All right, guys. So it's the time of the day to say goodbye. But before you leave, stick to the end because we have the funny video of the week or the meme. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.
Thank you so much to our guest for taking the time to being here with us. And please, we're trying to grow our audience. So please share this video with your family and friends. We'll see you on the next time on the Student Lounge. Bye.